In the late afternoon of the 14th of July 2018, two Palestinian teenagers, Luai Kahil and Amir al-Nimrah, climbed up to the rooftop of the partially constructed al-Katibah building in the heart of a bustling area of Gaza City. They sat on the roof edge and took this selfie. It would be the last picture of the boys alive. A short time later, at around 5:45 p.m, a missile fired from an Israeli aircraft struck the roof of the building, killing them both. The missile was one of a series of 4, which landed on and near the building in a 15-minute period. The strikes were warning shots, intended to alert nearby civilians that the building was an imminent military target. 4 larger strikes followed, destroying not only parts of the al-Katibah building, but a nearby mosque and a cultural centre. As a result, the warning shots failed to prevent civilian casualties. 23 people were injured in addition to the 2 fatalities. The use of warning shots is part of an Israeli military policy known as roof knocking. According to the policy, Israeli airstrikes in urban areas are preceded by comparatively smaller strikes, which are intended to alert civilians to the imminent danger, giving them time to evacuate. Roof knocking is described by the Israeli military as non-lethal, and as consisting of a low-explosive projectile aimed at a building rather than at civilians. But Tselem and Forensic Architecture worked together to examine Israel's account of the strikes on the al-Katibah building. Hours after the attack, the Israeli military made public a video which captured the strikes on the building. The video appeared to show 4 warning shots, followed by a number of larger explosions. Eyewitness reports confirm that the boys were killed by the first warning shot. However, they are not visible in the Israeli military's aerial footage. Upon closer examination, we discovered that the first and third clips appear to show the same strike captured from different angles. By synchronizing these clips, we can see that the explosion develops at the same speed and in the same shape. We can see similar features here, 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 and here. Taking into account the other 2 clips, we can see that one has a different crosshair to the other 3, suggesting it was captured by a different camera. Only 3 of the 4 warning shots, then, are accounted for. There is a missing strike in the sequence. Why has the Israeli military disrupted its own video evidence in this way? Did the missing video capture the killing of Luai Kahil and Amir al-Nimrah? We supplemented the footage made public by the Israeli military with material from open sources, including news reports and social media, and footage from nearby CCTV cameras. By locating and synchronizing each of these sources, we constructed a timeline of the event. A CCTV system installed in nearby buildings captured the entire sequence of strikes. The timestamps on each camera in the system are consistent. According to the CCTV timestamp, the first warning shot landed at 5:45 p.m. and 26 seconds. It was this strike that killed the 2 teenagers. This video was captured following the first strike. The person recording it is rushing to the roof of the al-Katibah building. Here, the video briefly captures the fragmentation pattern caused by the first strike on the roof. We combined several video frames and mapped them onto the roof of our model to learn more about the munition that was used. The missile detonated approximately 9 meters from the teenagers. Multiple weapons experts independently concluded that the fragmentation pattern is indicative of shrapnel, specifically designed to increase the damage caused to human bodies. The second warning shot landed at 5:50 p.m. and 48 seconds, just over 5 minutes after the first. Both the aerial footage and the video captured on the roof show that the second missile struck while civilians were present. It hit the south side of the building, 40 meters from the site of the first strike. People are clearly visible in the aerial footage as they flee towards the staircase. They would return shortly after and carry the teenagers down to ground level. Warning shot number 3 hit the roof at 5:54 p.m. and 46 seconds. In this camera's field of view, we can see several figures gathered in the corner of the nearby park. Moving to the perspective of the aerial footage, we can see the same figures. It already seems likely, therefore, that these images capture the same strike. By locating the CCTV camera's cone of view within the military's footage and tracking the movement of three figures on the ground, we can confirm that these videos were filmed simultaneously. This establishes that the strike captured from two angles in the aerial footage was the third warning shot. The fourth warning shot struck the base of the building at 5:58 p.m. and 22 seconds. In addition to the aerial footage, this moment was also captured in a video shot from across the park. 4 minutes later, at 6:02 p.m. and 16 seconds, the first of four much larger strikes hit the building. At the same time, around a kilometre away, a group of children were recording a cooking video. Their video captures the sound of these strikes. By synchronizing the audio from that video with two others recorded nearby, we can identify each of the four larger strikes in mid-fall. The Israeli military considers roof knocking to be a non-lethal means of communicating a warning to civilians. But warning strikes themselves can kill. Luai Kahil and Amir al-Nimrah died as a result of the first warning strike to hit the al-Katibah building on the 14th of July. We have shown that the munition used was likely an anti-personnel missile armed with lethal fragments. Such a strike should be considered a military attack, and as such subject to all restrictions set out in international humanitarian law. Our investigation also demonstrates that when the Israeli military published its version of events, footage of the fatal warning strike was substituted with footage of another. Were the two teenagers visible to the military before the first strike? If they were, they should not have been targeted. But if not, it follows that the Israeli military cannot justifiably rely on its aerial surveillance technologies to avoid civilian casualties. Civil society and the international community should be concerned not only by the violations of international humanitarian law that are inherent to the warning strike policy, but also by the Israeli military's attempt to obscure the harm of that policy by manipulating the truth of the killing of Luai Kahil and Amir al-Nimrah. This case illustrates Israel's disregard for both civilian lives and the truth, and epitomizes the policy of this ongoing occupation.